next video is adding mixed numbers together. So we're going to take two mixed numbers and we're going to add them together and we're going to see how we do that. So our first mixed number here, we're going to start off with, we're going to say 3 5/8, and we're going to add 6 2/5. 6 2/5. Okay, so what I like to do here is I like to explain that this is a mixed number. You have a whole number with a piece of the fraction, so you don't quite have all whole. You have a whole and some fraction, and we're going to add it to a whole and some fraction. So the way I like to do this is you take your 8, or your denominator, you take your denominator and you multiply it by your whole number. Denominator multiplied by whole number, and then you take that answer and you add that to 5, and you keep the same denominator. So let's do an example. 8 times 3 is 24, and 24 plus 5 is 29, and we keep that over 8. Let me just redo that. 29 over 8. Now we're going to add the same method here. 5 times 6 is 30, and then you're going to add 2. So now we'll have 32 over 5. Now we're back to adding basic fractions or improper fractions with unlike denominators. So again, we need to come over here and we need to find our least common multiple of 8 and 5. So 8 times 1 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, 8 times 3 is 24, 8 times 4 is 32, 8 times 5 is 40. Now if you can guess, you can sit here and maybe pause the video and see if you can figure out what the least common multiple is when you take the multiples of 5. So now, if you sit here and you multiply 5 times 1 is 5, 5 times 2 is 10, 5 times 3 is 15, 5 times 4 is 20, 5 times 5 is 25, 5 times 6 is 30, and 5 times 7 is 35, 5 times 8 is 40. So if you look down your columns, you'll see that the number they have in common is 40, and it is the least number they have in common. So we know our denominator down here is going to be 40 for both fractions. And now you can say to yourself, well, how did I get from 8 to 40 by multiplication? Well, it's right here. We multiplied 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So if we multiply the denominator by 5, we have to multiply the numerator by 5. Now, this could be a big number, obviously, but we're going to sit over here and we're going to do our math. I'll do it in a different color. Let's try blue. So we'll do 29 times 5. Standard algorithm. 9 times 5 is 45, so the 5 goes below and the 4 gets carried above. 5 times 2 is 10. You add the 4 and you get 14. So we have 145 over 40. And now you say to yourself, well, how did I get from 5 to 40 by multiplication? Well, it's right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I multiplied it by 8. So I have to multiply the numerator by 8. And again, this might be a little bigger of a number, but we're going to take 32 times 8 in a standard algorithm. And 2 times 8 is 16. 6 goes down. The 1 gets carried up. 8 times 3 is 24. Plus 1 is 25. So now we have 256, switch this back to red. So we have 256 plus 145. Again, I will do that over here. So 256 plus 145. And if we add them, 6 plus 5 is 11. 1 goes down, 1 goes up. 5 plus 4 is 9. Add the last 1 is 10. 0. Bring the 1 up. 2 plus 1 is 3. Add your other 1 is 4. So we have now 401 over 40. Well, guess what? Guess how many times 40 goes into 401? Well, there's a cool trick you can do here. So you can say, well, how many times does 40 go into 400? 400 even. Well, it goes in 10 whole times. And you had 1 left over. So 10 and 1/40 would be our new mixed number and also our answer. Look forward to some new content, some new videos coming up in the future. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel.